Hey everybody, Northwest Cavalryman here, and today we're doing another video in my series of my top 12 9mm pistols. So today we're looking at the Walther PPQ Navy. This firearm actually surprised me a little bit. It's coming in at the number 2 position of my firearms, ranked from 12 to 1, and it actually beat out my Q5 match, which comes in at number 3. One of the categories that my Walther PPQ Navy beat out my Q5 match in was the trigger pull, believe it or not. The trigger pull on my Q5 match came in at 6 pounds, of course. That is a sample size of 1. And this trigger pull comes in at 4 pounds, 7.3 ounces. Of course, that is the original trigger pull, the current trigger pull, and the second and subsequent trigger pulls. So I'm giving this gun 11 points out of a possible 12 for the original trigger pull, 11 points out of a possible 12 for the current trigger pull, and an 8 out of a possible 12 for the second and subsequent trigger pulls. The trigger feel, I'm going to give that 6 out of 12 for the trigger feel. That is a very, very nice trigger feel. I can reach the trigger well. It does feel like a polymer trigger, but it's crisp. It's not like a Glock or any other firearm like that. And of course, the Walthers are renowned for having great trigger pulls. The trigger reset is excellent on this pistol. Very tactile, and also you can hear it. It just comes up to there, and then doesn't have much of take up, and you're right on the wall. Very, very good trigger. Trigger consistency, of course, it's always going to have the same trigger pull. It's not as consistent as some of my triggers, but I'm giving this 8 points out of a possible 12 for trigger consistency. Ergonomics of this gun. I really like the ergonomics of this gun. I'm giving it 11 points out of a possible 12. The only gun that beats this out is my Q5 match, and that's pretty much because it's a little bit bigger, and it just like the feel of that bigger firearm just a little bit, but essentially they're the same ergonomics. They fit in your hand just pretty much the same. They fill up your hand, and Walther PPQs are also renowned for their excellent ergonomics. Now the grip texture. I'm giving the grip texture 8 out of a possible 12 points for grip texture. Just like I talked about with the Q5 match, this does have some decent grip texture, but I like a very more aggressive grip texture, so I have put these Talon grips on it that are the skate tape type grips. This is one of my backup guns for IPSC. Also, I will use this in DSS, which is Dynamic Shooting Sport, which is a 3-gun tactical type of shooting. As a backup as well. I'll also use this gun in IDPA. Controls of the firearm, I'm going to give those 11 points out of a possible 12. Of course, just like the Q5 match, the slide lock, slide release comes back far enough, and it is ambidextrous, so you can actuate it from both sides. And I do like the magazine release. It is very, very easy to reach, and it's very positive as well. Of course, we already talked about the trigger, and the takedown on this firearm is excellent. All you have to do is pull down on these tabs. It comes out there. Very Glock-like, however, a lot nicer than the Glocks, because these tabs are easy to grab a hold of, and of course goes back together very easily as well. The weight of this firearm also comes in at 11 points out of a possible 12. It is 656 grams. Of course, we don't have an optic on here, and that is partly why it comes in so low, but as it is, unloaded, 656 grams. That's 1.446 pounds, or 23.15 ounces. Recoil management. Now, Walther PPQs can be a little bit snappy because of the bore access, however, and because this is a little bit lighter than my Q5 match, this gets a little bit lower score. I'm going to give this 4 points out of a possible 12 for recoil management. Shootability, love shooting this gun. Shootability, love shooting this gun. 11 points out of a possible 12. This is very easy to shoot, very consistent, and very, very accurate with this firearm. Love shooting this firearm. 11 points out of a possible 12. Only 1 point below the Q5 match. Historical significance, again, just like the Walther PPQ Q5 match, it really doesn't have a lot of historical significance. However, Walther is an historical company, so we're going to give that 3 points over possible 12 for historical significance. Personal preference, I'm going to give that 10 points out of a possible 12 for personal preference. It's not the first gun I grabbed, but it's definitely not the last. And it is one of my backup guns for its sake. Aesthetics, 7 out of a possible 12. I really like the look of the Walthers, and it's a fine looking gun. I think that you can't go wrong with the look of a Walther. It is just a great gun in my opinion. As far as the looks go, I do like the looks of the threaded barrel as well for the suppressor. Of course, you can't have one in Canada, but I guess I could put a compensator on there. And it does come with an extra recoil spring in case you do want to put if you're in the US and you can get a suppressor, then it does come with a recoil spring that is set up for suppressors. Of course, out of a possible 180, when you add up all those points, you get 128 possible points out of 180. That puts this firearm solidly in number 2 position on my list of 9mm firearms ranked 1 to 12. And this was a little bit of a surprise. I did not expect this to come in higher than my Q5 match or higher than a couple of my other firearms either. However, this does come in out of those 15 categories that I rated it against, this comes in at number 2 on my list of 9mm firearms ranked 12 to 1. Stay tuned for my overall rankings. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, Northwest Cavalryman here, and if you enjoyed this video or any of my videos, please click subscribe and like. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you next time.